This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and this is the Print on Demand Mastery, Session 8. In Session 7, we covered just getting started. We into books. We talked about the different types of books that you could create, low content books, novels, children's books. We talked about tools that you can use to create the books. We actually went through the exercise of uploading a book, simple book, onto Lulu and using it to, taking a PDF file, uploading it to Lulu, checking for messages, looking at the margins, looking at the bleed, looking at the price that it was offering, deciding on whether or not we want color or no color, having Lulu help us create a cover, all of those things. We went through the exercise of Lulu. Now, Lulu is a very simple and straightforward platform in which to upload. Today, we're going to be talking about KDP. We're also going to be talking about some of the other platforms as well, but we're going to go through the exercise of KDP. So KDP is an okay platform to upload to. I mean, it's a great one to make money, I will say that, but you have to work with your file a couple of different times to get it uploaded. Sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes it uploads just fine and there's no issues. And other times you have to make adjustments to your file. You have to make adjustments to the margins. And so we're going to talk through what are some of the things that you might encounter when you are uploading to KDP. I was going to say Lulu, and then I will go through the exercise. So the first thing is that you are going to go to KDP and log in. Now you can log in and with your Amazon account, you can create a brand new account. Okay, so I have an Amazon account, so I just logged in with my Amazon account, but you're going to go to KDP Amazon. This is what it will look like. I actually took the screenshot today so I can get the latest version of what the page looks like. Okay, so you're going to click into the sign in. If you don't have an Amazon account, then you need to create an Amazon account. When you log in, there's a couple of things that need to happen before you log in. So I'm going to back up to this, but when you log in, you're actually going to see another page before this. If you're creating a brand new account, there's going to be some stuff you have to do, and I'll tell you in just a second what it is. But if you've already created an account and it has everything that it needs from you, because it will ask for separate stuff from your regular Amazon selling account. So once you've provided all that information, then you're going to eventually make your way to a page that looks like this. You can do ebooks, you can do paperbacks, you can do hardbacks, which is newer over the last, I think 12 to 15 months, series, and then Vella. Now, I've never done Vella, so don't know much about it, but ebooks, paperback for sure, I have done. Okay, so this is what it will look like. And then when you're ready to get started, you will click on create to get started. So let's talk about what you're going to need to get going on KDP. I encourage you to go back and replay this, or, take a screenshot now if that works for you. So a couple of things that you're going to need, and this information will be in your back office. One, you're going to need whatever your file is, and you have to know what size book you intend to create. So if you're going to do a paperback, there's paperback size options. If you're going to do digital ebook, then there's size options there. And so we're going to look at some of the size option information inside of KDP. You need to know your keywords, again, before you get started. So you have to have already made a decision. And hopefully in session 7, you went through and you made some decisions on what type of books you wanted to create. Whether, it was going to be a low content book with almost nothing in it, or whether it's going to be something that, people can buy over and over again, like coloring books that kids could use year round, especially during the summertime, or educational books, or you're going to do a novel or a kid's book or whatever you want to do. Okay. But once you have decided what it is that you wanted to create, then for KDP, you definitely need to know the keywords. What categories do you think you want to put the book in? The book title, the book subtitle. You're going to need a release date. I can talk today, especially for ebooks. You need a description for your book. These are all things that you need to put this listing up on Amazon. So if you're already an Amazon seller, you need a title, and you need a description for sure. You need to know your keywords, and you got to figure out your category. So some of that is not new, but if you're not a seller on Amazon, then this is stuff that you want to create a template. Because if you plan on churning out a few different books, I would create a template sheet that starts with at the top, like, what is the book? Okay. So have the first thing is, if I were just creating a sheet, it could be a Google Doc, or it can be a Word doc, or whatever works for you. I would start with, okay, what is the book? And then from there, what are all the keywords that are associated with this type of book? What's the categories? And so I would go over to Amazon and I would go look at the book categories, just so I had an idea of where this book might go. Now, you can choose the category, and then you can choose some secondary categories as well. And we'll see that in just a second. The title for your book and subtitle, release date, and then description. And then if you're using KDP, you will get a free ISBN, because it is a self-publishing platform. But if you've already bought an ISBN, in other words, you plan on selling it everywhere, and you already paid for an ISBN, then you need to put in the ISBN that you already purchased. And we'll get into what an ISBN is in just a second. You need to know what your book price you want to receive for it. That's going to determine some of your royalties information, and the age range that this book is for. So again, if you're writing a kid's book, makes sense. Maybe for kids, might be for teens, might be for adults. So what's the age range? There's some additional tools that you can use to help you on this getting started on KDP, or just getting started, period, when it comes to deciding which books you want to sell, what platform, what platforms you want to sell your books on, and things like that. So Canva, we've used Canva. You can use Canva all day long to take and copy and paste your text. So what I normally do, my action steps are, I write it in a Google Doc, and then I copy and paste that text into my Canva document, so I can download it as a PDF. If I am putting any level of color and graphics on it, then I'm going to upload it to Canva. If I'm not doing anything fancy with it, if it's just regular old text with regular old words, then I can download it directly from my Google Doc, download it as a PDF there. So again, you got to know what it is that you're about to create. So that would be the first thing. And then from there, figuring out the keywords, the categories, and stuff like that. So Canva can help you if you're putting any level of graphics, if you're going to do something special, if you're going to have a lined notebook, that kind of stuff, and you want to maybe have some quotes at the bottom of the top. Canva is great for that. Other than that, if you're just doing like a novel or a book, Google Docs works all day long. You don't have to pay for that. And you can download it as PDF as the interior of your book. Okay. You can use Canva to help create the exterior of your book. And we went through some exercises in session 7 and the prior sessions of just using different elements from Canva to do different things. Plus, there's already some formats that are out there for books and ebooks. Next one is BookBolt. BookBolt is a great tool to use to get your keywords, to do some niche research, and to get some data about, different books. So if you kind of have an idea of the books that are going to be your competitors in the space that you're going to be selling in, BookBolt is a good one to use. Then you got Creative Fabrica. Again, if you're going to do any level of graphics on the inside and or design the outside. So you can use Canva or Creative Fabrica. And then Publisher Rocket, you can use that tool. There's one more tool, but we can't even see it. Sorry, I have to move this little thing around to see things. I hate, let me just tell you, sometimes these little meeting things are not worth it. Okay, so you have to move things around. All right, so so you can do some research with Publisher Rocket. And then there's another tool that was at the bottom here, which you can't see, is, let me just make the size just a little bit smaller. There we go. Libre. I can talk today. And it's a great tool for if you're going to create ebooks. So these are some of the tools that we're going to talk about. Since I already have this expanded out, you know, I have my Canva account open. We can go over to BookBolt. Okay, and you can create things inside of BookBolt and you can do research with BookBolt. So I'm going to go over to their pricing real quick. With their pricing, what they'll do is they will allow you a couple of things if you decide you're going to sign up. Keyword research, product research, interior, you can use them to help you create your cover, interior and exterior design. You can look up the Amazon search volume for different books that are on the platform. So again, trying to figure out, is this book moving? Is this book selling or not? KDP Spy, again, more research about, you know, how much money is this particular book potentially making based on its sales rank on Amazon. Now, I will tell you, the sales rank of books is completely different than the sales rank of like toys or groceries or something in home goods. Because a book could be doing really, really well and have a sales rank on Amazon. And if you understand anything about sales rank, with Amazon, Amazon has what's called a BSR, bestseller rank. And so with the sales rank, typically the lower the number, the faster the book is selling. The higher the number, the slower the book is selling. So that low number and the high number determines the sale velocity of a specific book on the platform. When the numbers are really, really high, like in toys or in home goods or in personal beauty and things like that, most people don't want to sell those books because, or not books, sorry, those products, because of the fact that they may not be moving as fast. When I say a high sales rank, I might be talking about 500,000 or 1 million. People are like, I don't want to sell that. Now, I could have Christmas wrapping paper. Christmas wrapping paper could be 500,000 right now because we're going into the summertime. But that Christmas wrapping paper over time, the sales velocity could get better and better and faster. So it could go from 500,000 down to something like 20,000. That means it's moving pretty quickly, all the way down to 5,000, which means it's really moving. So both of those, like that's an indicator, the lower the number, the faster it is selling. Well, with books that have a BSR, bestseller rank, of 1 million are actually moving well on Amazon, believe it or not. So the thing that you want to keep in mind is that if you're an Amazon seller, which you are traditionally looking at when it comes to book ranks, a good book rank is still in the 500,000 to 1 million range. Now, if it's in the 5 million range, then it's moving slower, but 1 million is actually still good. Whereas in any other category, 1 million would not be good. So just kind of giving you that perspective. And then you have support, and then we have puzzle creation software included. So what is the price for this tool? It is, if you do it monthly, because again, if you do it yearly, it's $89.99. And if you do it, or $199.99. If you do it monthly, it's $9.99 or $19.99. I always do the yearly stuff. It just is worth it to me. And so again, you can get a lot of great information from BookBolt, and you can actually create your book on BookBolt. I will tell you, when you do create the book on BookBolt, and not that I'm like pushing this tool, I'm just sharing information. Because traditionally you would have an affiliate link if you're pushing something. But anyway, if you decide you're going to use BookBolt, like I said, I always use I always sign up for the annual because it's just easier and it's cheaper. But the other thing is that a lot of the stuff, when you download it from BookBolt, it will be, in most cases, not all, in the format that you need it to be in. So it's easier to upload to Amazon KDP. So just a little helpful tip there. Okay, the other one that I mentioned was, sorry, let me go back over here. Let me not close it. Was Publisher Rocket. So Publisher Rocket So I don't know what's going on with the page, why it's chopping things off. That's really weird. Don't you think? Maybe I need to make it, there we go. That's really weird. There's a blank bar there. They got to fix their funnel. Anyway. All right, so Publisher Rocket, you can get some information again about what's selling, what's moving. So Book Bulk can tell you about what's selling and what's moving, and it can also give you the sales rank. And you know, you can figure out what the potential royalties are for a specific book. So Book Bulk gives you that information, and so does Publisher Rocket, another tool. And the pricing on it, I have no idea what the pricing is. I don't know that they have the pricing. So let me just go see if there is pricing information. I don't want to watch your video. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let me do this. I don't know what their pricing is. So their pricing, does somebody have, how much does it cost? Says it's 97, but depends. So it depends. The average publisher, anywhere between $150 to $3 per book. So they evidently have a tier thing. You probably want to watch the video. I don't have an account with Publisher Rocket, but I do know some people who like it. So just sharing that information with you. You may decide you want to look into it more and decide if it's the right tool for you. Okay. So those are, you know, the ones that I would say is a good tool is definitely Book Bulk. I already have a Creative Fabric account. I have a Canva account, and then the other one's Celebrate. I can talk today. All right. So this particular tool, again, is great if you're doing ebooks. So I've heard, I don't use them, but I've heard that they are great for ebooks. I've heard that they are great for, you know, if you're trying to rank your ebook, help you with your cover, all of that. So you can decide if you want to check out this tool a little bit more and use it. So that's what the platforms look like, or at least that's what the login page looks like if you decide you want to check it out. All right, so my computer is not responding when I click. I don't know why. There we go. All right, so the next thing that we want to take a look at, let's talk about the ISBN. So I talked about the fact that you're either going to do a paid ISBN or you're going to do a free ISBN. So the ISBN is the International Standard Book Number. It's 13 numbers long, and there's 5 parts to it, which you can go through and read that yourself. It identifies the registrant, the title, the edition. So if you plan on publishing a book and making additional additions to it, then this is one of those things, different versions of it, the format of the product. And then it is used by publishers, bookstores, and libraries. So as we said in session 7, you can make your book globally available. It doesn't have to just be something that you sell on your website alone. It doesn't have to be something that you just sell on Etsy. It doesn't have to be something that you just sell on KDP. Like, you can make it available so that when you walk into a Sam's Club or a Costco or a Best Buy or a Barnes and Noble, that your book is on the shelves. It could also be in libraries. So think about, again, your game plan for whatever type of book you want to publish, and then go from there. So most bookstores won't allow you to sell the book without an ISBN. So there's 2 ways in which you can get an ISBN. One, you can purchase it directly. You can go to My Identifiers and you can purchase an ISBN. You can do the research to apply for one, and then you can purchase one on I don't know how to say this, Bowker.com. Bowker.com is the only place that is legitimate for buying an ISBN. You'll have sites just like when whenever you're selling on Amazon, like a UPC is a number that is required. Yeah, a UPC is a number that's required to put on your physical products. And so there are sites that will sell you UPCs, but there's only one site that is legitimate for getting UPCs. So again, this is the only legitimate site where you can get ISBNs. Or you can get an ISBN free if you're going to self-publish. If you're on the self-publishing platforms like Lulu, Ingram Spark, BookBaby, KDP, and there's so many others, they will issue you an ISBN. The thing you need to know about the ISBN is that, again, it needs to be unique. So you're not going to sell your book on Amazon and have one ISBN and then have it on your website and sell it with a different ISBN and then have it somewhere else in a different ISBN. It's going to be the same ISBN. So you need to keep that in mind if you plan on selling it everywhere. If you're just going to sell them on one platform, just again, make a note of what the ISBN is, or you'll see it. And you're also going to put it in when it prints on KDP, like they'll put it on the inside. If you want more information on self-publishing, there's some great resources around early in this Print on Demand Mastery series. I talked about a bunch of things about getting your own LLC and how to get trademarked and how to get copyrighted and getting registered and all of that stuff. All of that is still valid from sessions 1, 2, maybe 3 and 4, or 1 and 2. If you want to take a deeper dive when it comes to self-publishing, like you maybe want to self-publish a novel, you can definitely go to selfpublishing.com. Now, I will tell you, selfpublishing.com is a site where they want to sell you training, which is fine. If you want to buy the training, that doesn't matter. What I want you to click on is when you go to selfpublishing.com, go check out their free resources. They have a bunch of articles that can give you some insight and help on writing a book if you really want to take this to another level, instead of doing something that's simple and low content. If you want to expand it, maybe you've got this book that's inside of you that you've been wanting to write for years. They have some tools in here to kind of help you get going, some things that can walk you through the journey of becoming a published author versus just someone that is putting things up on Lulu or KDP. So for me, like, I'm not planning on publishing a novel. A lot of the stuff that I needed to know, I know what I need to do in order to publish planners and low content books, coloring books, and things like that. But if I wanted to go through and publish maybe a story, maybe my journey as a mom with special needs children, then I feel like selfpublishing.com, when you go to the free resources section, if I want to go through and make sure I'm not missing anything as a person that is self-publishing on my own, giving my book the best possible opportunity to get sales, then this is a great resource. They have a lot of great articles that can help you through different things. Again, some of it, Amazon KDP will walk you through it. You get some of this on Lulu and Ingram Spark and things like that. But I just feel like they had a few more articles that were a little more helpful for those people who really want to be, a published author for novels and books like that versus, planners, because I do planners. Okay. So just giving you that additional opportunity to make your book real to you. And they go to the free resources when you click on that. So I just wanted to point that out. All right. So the next thing is I wanted to also share with you a couple of other self-publishing sites. Since I said that you can get a free ISBN on some of the self-publishing sites. So KDP, which is where we are today, Apple Books, Google Play Books, I don't know if you knew about that, Barnes and Nobles, Kobo, Lulu, Smashwords, Blurb, Ingram Spark, and Draft to Digital. These are all sites. And I don't know why BookBaby is not on here, and there's like 2 others, but in any case, they are self-publishing sites. So you can use the tools that they have available to them. Each one of them will have their own steps. The steps are going to be in some ways similar, in some ways different. I think KDP is the most different from the other platforms. And I think they're the most different because it's going on Amazon and they're asking for more information. Whereas some of the others, like they want your book, they want you to upload your cover, they want you to put a title, you can put a description. But some of the other stuff that KDP is asking for, like they don't always ask for all of that. So each platform is going to have some similar steps. You got to know that you're going to have a title and a description regardless of where you put it up. And or if you're going to publish it on your own site or you set up a a WordPress site, or if you're going to use Shopify, Wix, Weebly, I'm trying to think of all of them, Square, all the website builders, Google Sites, like you're going to need to make sure you have some basic information about your book, whatever the book is, or books if you're going to publish multiple books. So just make a note of these self-publishing sites. All right, so steps to get started on KDP. We're going to get ready to go through this. So the first thing we said before is I need my file. That was the first thing I needed, okay? So once I have my file, now I'm going to go over to Amazon KDP. I'm going to log in, or I'm going to create my account. If I have to create an account, then that's going to ask you to set up a profile. It's going to ask for your banking information, and you're going to go through the exercise of tax information. This should all, if you're an Amazon seller today, this is similar to what you do today. Again, as I said before, your banking and tax information can be different on this platform than your Amazon Seller Central account. And then you're going to click on the Create button once you have gone through, and you'll get a message at the top. It tells you what you haven't done yet. And so you'll see that at the top. You're going to click on the Create button. Once you click on the Create button, then you're going to have the option to choose an ebook, paperback, or a hard book, and hardback cover. That was the screenshot that we saw before. And so you'll go through that process. You're going to upload your file, and you're going to look for the messages. As we saw messages when we uploaded to Lulu, they gave us some information and we can do something about it. Or if they were hard stop messages, which means you can't proceed any further, then you got to go back, fix the thing, and then you can proceed. So again, that may require you to go to wherever you wrote or created the content, make adjustments to the sizing and the edges so that it's within the margins, and then re-download the file and re-upload it to KDP. So you may go through this process of download, upload. Step 5 may be repeat, depending on what adjustments you need to make. And you're going to need to make sure that your cover has the right dimensions as well. Then after that, you're going to go through and select all the stuff that I mentioned at the beginning. So you're going to be putting in your keywords and your title and your subtitle and your description and your category and the age group and all of that stuff that I listed at the very beginning. So you can always go back and like, okay, did I do all of this? Do I have all of this ready to go? If I don't have this ready to go, you need to create a template, especially if you plan on publishing multiple books, or when you publish your first book, just create an outline for yourself so that you have all the information you need to get your book published on KDP, okay? So then the next thing is you're going to indicate whether or not you want KDP Select, which means I'm just going to have the book on KDP, or I want to publish it everywhere. And you have that option on a lot of the self-publishing sites to publish the book everywhere. And that KDP would be where it starts, and it gets pushed out to all the other places where the book could live. And then you're going to enter your royalties information. So you have to know how much you wanted to sell the book for. And then you're at the place where you hit submit. So the process that may take the longest is step 5, but step 5 includes many other sub-steps. So let's talk about what those sub-steps are. So I have a couple of windows open. I just want to make sure I didn't miss all of the steps. Okay. So this is where we're going to upload. So I'm going to leave this window open. Hopefully it won't time out on me. The next is I want you to see, and I think I've already got a screenshot, but we'll see it anyway. If you go to, once you log into KDP, you can go to the help feature. And the thing that I want to point out in the help feature is over here on the side. Okay. Book formatting is so important. This is the interior pages and what the margins need to be based on the size of the book that you're going to choose. and also the cover, margins and things like that. So I can click on formatting for paperback, and it's going to give me the trim and the margins. Again, as we went through the exercise in Lulu, we saw that there was a little slide button for trim and there was a little slide button for margins. So you could visually see it on the screen. Whereas Amazon is giving you like the hard numbers themselves. So when I click on this, there's a video. And so you're going to see dimensions that are mentioned. That's why I say it's more involved than Lulu. So when I teach, I'm like, let's start with Lulu, because I don't have to know and learn all of this stuff in order for this to work for me. Because they literally have this whole GUI interface that's just, push this button and slide that button and all the stuff figures it out for you. Whereas KDP is very precise. So these are your trim sizes. I can do a 5x8 on the interior. If I want to go in just a little bit, this is trimming in just a little bit more. This is, 5x2.5. So you need to know what size book, okay? One of the most common sizes is 6x9s and 7x10s. Our stuff is 8.5 by 11, and you'll notice that on the 8.5 by 11, like there's some others that are very similar. They also have the number of the pages, paper. So you've got your paper here, and then this is on paperback, and this is on hardback, okay? Your size dimension. So you'll see that it is much smaller options for the hardback than it is for the paperback. So if you decide you're going to do 6x9, when you go over to Canva, okay, so I actually would create it in, I would create it in Google Doc, especially if I'm just creating a book. Okay, so then, an existing, hold on. So I chose this flyer, and it says that the flyer size is, you can always resize it, but my size is 5.5 by 8.25, okay? Because I always start with flyer. I think we kind of talked about that before. If I am wanting to do a 6x9, then I want to probably be mindful of the margins. So I can go and I can resize it in Canva. I'm going to go back to Canva. Click. At some point, my computer's going to respond. Come on, babe. There we go. So I'm going to go back to Canva, and I'm going to resize it to 6x9. I'm going to resize it. Once I resize it, so when I download it to KDP, I'm already in a good size. My margins, if I'm going to put text, I can start a text box, and I'm going to just type some gibberish. Can't see that very well. This is 12 font, so I'm going to increase this to, this is gibberish. Okay. So I'm going to change my font style. Again, you want something that is sort of soft on the eyes. The great thing is that you can upload it time and time again. And I'm probably going to increase the size to about 14 or 16, depending on what you want to do. So I'm just going to copy and paste this text over and over again until I get enough words on here. I'm not spelling gibberish right. Is it 1B? All right, fine. If you say it's 1B, I don't think it is, but whatever. Today I don't know how to spell. Don't judge me. All right. Is it 2B's? I thought it was, oh God, see now I'm gonna gibberish. No, it's a G, not, I keep saying G and I type J. That's your problem, Nicole. You started with the wrong letter. Okay, so anyway. Okay. All right. So I'm going to paste this. This is not really a sentence, but anyway, you get the point. I need to make this all left justified. Or you can use the feature where it spreads it across the page, which is this alignment. I don't like that because it makes it wide in some places and narrow in some places, but it can visually make the interior of your book look good. So you can decide. I don't use that feature. I don't like it. So, all right. So I'm just going to paste this a bunch of, oh, there's no space. All right. Hold on. Didn't put a space. Not that it matters. All right. So what I'm going to do is got my lovely, this is gibberish. Gonna copy this, paste it, and I'll paste it again. Hopefully I am close to the bottom. Gonna make sure I'm within the margins. Okay, that's my little red indicator. This is our book. We're gonna have multiple pages of this is gibberish. Okay. It keeps wanting to self-adjust itself. Now I need it to be 14. Oh, too many words. All right. Okay, so I'm within the red, not at the bottom. Okay, let me just delete some more. And I'm just going to replicate this page. We can do some lined pages in here too, just to do it all. Okay, so I'm centered. I'm within the red. And I'm within, okay. All right, so we'll do a couple of pages of this. We're making a book, guys. That's what, oops, undo. Didn't mean to hit delete, but to hit duplicate. All right. All right, so we got 5 pages of lined. And then I'm going to create another page. Well, I'll do 10 pages of lined. Okay. Now I need to do lined pages. Oops. Line journal page. Yeah, just need a really? These are covers, guys. No, I don't need this. Okay. For some reason I can't remember how to get my lined pages by themselves. Give me just a second. My brain is going to catch up. I've done so many projects. I don't remember what it is. Oh my God. Oh, it happens. I know how to do this. I don't want this. I don't want notebook paper. I don't want an image. I want an actual sheet. Hold on. I'm so hot right now. Okay. All right, back to my lovely project. Paste. Come on. Control C. There we go. All right. So I'm going to drag this so it's within my margins. Close enough. All right. So I have some line pages. It's okay. We all have days. All right. So I'm going to duplicate this. Not that this is a fancy book. It is not. Okay. All right. So this is my lovely test book. All right, so let me close all these other windows, otherwise I will not remember where I am. Okay, all right. So the other thing, now that I took me a minute to get that covered, get that done. So the thing that you want to make sure that you do is, again, the help feature is so good for you. You can also download a Word template so that you don't mess up the size of different things that you're working on. So as I did 6x9, and this is the centimeters. So I did it in inches. And then they'll have the trim specifics. So my trim specifics, the minimum and the maximum for my 6x9, I can look at this and see what my trim specifics are for my 6x9. Okay. And then that way I don't mess it up. When I upload it, I'm not having any problems with the book, that it uploads the way that I need it to. And we'll see how that goes. So you'll see, whereas in Lulu, you could see how it was going to look because you had the little framed lines around it. Whereas, and you'll see that when you actually do upload it to KDP, you'll see something similar to that, but they're giving you some insight before you get into it. So we had all these buttons up here for Lulu and you don't have them here. So if you want to do no bleed, so no bleed is on the left and with bleed is on the right. So with bleed is going into the edges and no bleed is over here. Here is, again, the interior page, and this is the final trim. So they're giving you some insight on what I want to stay inside the margins, which is what I was trying to do, stay inside that little red frame, that if I kept all my text on the inside of the red frame, everything should come out okay. If it's outside of the red frame, then it may not come out okay. And some of your words could get chopped off when it's delivered to your customer when they go to print, okay? So they give you some examples. It's not a KDP. If I'm doing 6x9, then okay, with bleed, it is 6.125 by 9.25, okay? And without bleed is 6.9. I am doing without bleed. If you want to read all of this, again, it's all in help, but it is, some insight. The thing that, again, I'm trying to make it easy for you is when you decide on what size you want to do, just resize it in Canva and then pay attention to what Canva is giving you when it comes to the little red frame. If you stay within the red frame, you shouldn't have any challenges with your upload. It's when you get to things that are outside the red frame, you will probably run into problems. The other thing that we learned the hard way is that KDP does not like colored pages. So inside of our eCom planner, our pages are blue, and it does not like blue pages, like at all. The entire page is blue, and then the text is white text. Didn't like it. We had to change the page so that it was a white page with blue text, big blue text. We couldn't get around it. I tried many different things. If you discover a way to get around it and have an actual colored page that goes all the way to the edges, like this entire page is not white, it was blue. And so it didn't like blue, the entire page being blue. So that was one of the things that we learned the hard way, and we had to go through and make changes to the planner in order to put it up on KDP. So just my own insight of my own personal experience of working with it. Okay, so knowing what your trim is important in your margins. If you use Kindle to help you with that, you can also set your margins inside of Google Docs. So that will save you some time too. If you decide you're going to do a hard book, like hard book still says beta, they rolled it out, I want to say like, I don't know, somewhere between 12 to 15 or 18 months ago. Ebooks, they have a whole section on the format for the ebooks and also what you need to do for your covers. So paperback is the most common one. That's when you go over to Kindle and when you go over to Amazon and you see books. So if I go over to, why am I not on the right keys? And Amazon, there we go. And I'm just going to go to books. Okay. So you have books that are kids. You have a lot of different options. If I go over to just books, when you decide what it is you want to publish, again, you're going to have to figure out, what type of book that you're actually, what category it's going to be in, the type of book, which we talked about before, so that you can add it to the right categories and you won't have it into any problem. You won't run into any problems. Okay. So formatting is your biggest challenge. And that's step 5 of this lovely process. After you figure out the formatting, then you have the categories. The categories will be the next one. It's not that hard to figure out your categories if you know what type of book that you're going to be creating. So they're going to walk you through. Again, this help feature gives you your options that you'll be able to see. So we're going to download this great fake book that I created. I'm going to have to do a cover. Let me download my lovely book that says this is gibberish. So you need to download it as a PDF, and you want to do from KDP. If you're doing KDP, you want to make it PDF print is how you want to download it. Okay. All right, so once I choose that, now I'm going to come over to KDP, over here. If I click too many times, it'll close it. And I'm going to click on create paperback. So I'm going to give my book a title and a subtitle. We had that in the list. We talked about that. So this is gibberish spelled correctly. And subtitle is gibberish book. It's optional. Okay. And this is not a series. This is not a edition number. You want to put in your information for the author. I'm just going to put Nicole Whitlock. I think our stuff is under eCom sellers, contributors. If they're contributors, like if you have people that do some of the graphic art and stuff like that, you want to type in a description. This is gibberish. Again, this is the stuff when you publish a book. So let me just go over here to just regular books. So if I just go to regular, just books, okay. Best books of 20 books reviewed, kids books of the month, or books by category. Probably should have chose that. Probably better. Hold on. Top books in each category. Okay, so books May, children's books. Here's your different categories: biographies and memoirs, mystery, kids books, adults, science fiction, romance, nonfiction, literary, all that other stuff. So if I decide maybe I'm going to do a cookbook, okay, when I click on any of these cookbooks, I'm just going to choose this one. I don't know these people. And you're going to have a description for your book. Okay, this one, they clearly are doing branding, but that's fine. A description, some information about your book. If you are copyrighted, if you are registered, if you have a trademark, all your little lowercase c with the circle R with the circle, all of that stuff is going to show up if that is all valid for you. So if you're actually branded, because I am branded, then you want to submit all of your branding stuff to Amazon so that way when you publish your book, all of that shows up, especially on your listing itself. But you can go through and look at some of the sample descriptions. I didn't really choose a good one because they got more pictures than they do anything else. When I was talking about, oh, wow, this one is doing really well. This book is doing really, really well. Like really, really well. It's something like crazy. This one is gluten-free cookie. Let's just see. Let me find another one. Bestseller, Simply Korean. I'm looking for somebody that actually has a bunch of text for the description. Okay. So this one here is what they have in what's coming up on the listing. And there's the title of the book. You've got the author formatted. It is a Kindle edition. Okay, some more information about the author. So for you, you will have some information if you're a published author, if you're setting up your account to be a published author, you'll see that they don't have like the circle C, like that gluten-free book that we just looked at. And then the sales rank on this one is really good as well. Like they've done a really good job. This is a really good rank. Like this book is selling like hotcakes, just so you know, it is. It's not uncommon for books to be in 1 million and still be doing great. So this one is really, 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 really doing good. I should find a book that is not doing so hot and choose one of those. But anyway, here's your categories, and you can use, I'm going to take a picture of that so I can grab that for later purposes. There you go. Just saving it. Okay, so now let's go through and let's upload this lovely book. So I have gibberish. I can type some more gibberish and more gibberish and more gibberish and more gibberish and more gibberish. Okay, so then the next part is the publishing rights. I own the copyright and hold the necessary publishing rights, or this is a public domain work. Okay, so again, if you are establishing yourself, then you definitely want to indicate that you own a copyright. If this is public domain information and you're just publishing it out into the public, then they're going to have to go through the process. Okay. All right, so then the next is keywords. Because I don't really have any keywords, I'm not going to put anything here, but that was on the checklist at the beginning of this process. Then it's asking me what category that I want this book to be in. So I'm going to put it in, I don't know, I won't choose fiction. I'll choose nonfiction, and I will just choose business. General. Okay. Now, the one thing I did want to point out is you'll notice I can put it in multiple categories. I can choose a couple of different checkboxes here. Okay. If it's a low content book, you'll notice that there's a checkbox here for journals, notebooks, and planners. So I can say that it is a low content book. If it is a large print book, 16 font or higher, mine, I think I chose 16, or I don't remember, 16 or 14. I don't know what this is. What did I choose? What was the text? 14. It's 14. All right. So mine's a 14. Okay, so it's not a large print. And does this contain adult content? No, it does not. Save and continue. Now let me just make sure I name this something so I don't mess up my team. Yeah, this is gibberish. Okay, good. All right, so now that I have that, now you see that publish without an ISBN or use your own ISBN. And you'll also have an option. I think if I had chosen a different option on the other page, then they would give me an ISBN. So anyway, You have learned more about low content books. And so since I'm doing a low content book, I think that's the reason why I got this. But if I wasn't doing a low content book, then Kindle would assign me an ISBN. Then publication date. So when do you want your book to go live? There we go. Tomorrow. Black and white interior pages. This is in some ways similar to what we did with Lulu before, where we had the black and white versus the color pages, and which one do you want? So it has the white with cream pages. It gives you the example, white pages, you got the color, and you got premium color, okay? So I'm just gonna do black and white, because there's not a lot to it. I have my 6x9, it automatically figured it out. I have no bleed, I'm doing matte. I don't have a cover. I think that's probably the only thing that's going to stop me. And then it's going to upload my paperback manuscript. So I just made a fake book and I am uploading my fake book. Oh, it's not in a doc format. Oh, it was successfully uploaded. Okay, good. So I didn't get any errors, and I really probably should have created a document where I would get errors, but I just saved you guys a lot of stress because I was like, emphasizing, stay within the little red lines inside of Canva and you won't have any problems. If you go outside the red lines, you might get some different things. If you do color pages, you might get some different things. So I literally got nothing. I had no problem. So now I have to put a cover up here. And then after I upload a cover, then it's going to go to preview, and they're going to preview it, and then I'll get to pricing. So let me just choose a fake cover for our fake book. Oops. Book cover. And it's got to be 6x9. So let me just resize it. And I don't know. That looks good. Maybe. I have no idea. When you do a book cover, the one thing I would suggest that you do if you're designing one, you can send it off. And I've given you a list of different providers that can help you with book covers. I gave you Graphic Rhythm Designs, and I've given you, I mean, you can do it inside of Canva. You can do it, you can do whatever you want to. Make sure that you go over to Amazon and just kind of look at some of the other book covers so that you have an idea of what it should look like. You'll notice that there's a title, there's a brief description in some cases, and then there is the author. This one has the author over here, small description, here's the title. Here's the title, here's a small description, and then I don't know where the author is. I think the author's name is on the side. Again, you'll notice there's a trend to these books. Try to stick with the trend, which is, again, there is a title, there's a small description, and there's the author's name. There is a title, there's a small description, there's the title's name. I mean, the book creator's name. So do your best to stick with the formula that we see repeated over and over again with books. So here's the title, here's the small brief description, and here's the author's name. You should have those. When you create a cover, that should be your thing that you remember, the formula for the books. So go look at other books. If you're creating something that's already in a category that's, you know, like you're going to create a competitor book. So maybe you're going to do morning treats. You're going to create your own cookbook on morning treats. Then I would literally look up books on morning treats. And you see here's the title, there's the author's name. Most of the time, the author's name, we're used to it being down here, which is fine. And then there's a brief description. I just want to point out those three things are key to publishing your book with a cover, okay? Every single time and time again, they give you a little sentence on the front that tells you what this book is sort of about or what you can expect on the inside. So don't ignore that combination. Now, there's some low content books where they don't do that formula, which it may make sense depending on what type of low content book it is. And there are others that actually do have that formula. So just want to point that out, okay? So I'm going to, I guess, choose one of these. So I'm just going to leave this. So I'm going to download this cover. And the cover, I believe, sometimes I forget, depending on the platform I'm on, can be PNG. Oh, it says PDF only. Okay. Okay. So use Cover Creator to create your image, or you can upload one that you already have. If you want to try Cover Creator, you can. I just had to remember that it still has to be in PDF. There is one platform that it can actually be in PNG. And so, yeah, so you want to make sure you do what they say. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and download this as PDF best, and I'm going to download it. Oh, I got to name the file. This is test book cover. All right, now we can download it. Okay, so now that we are downloading, we're going to go back over to KDP and we're going to upload our file. And then if your book has a barcode, you see that there's a little checkbox down there. All right, so it's successfully uploaded. I haven't gotten any errors so far, so I'm making this process look so much easier. Oh, wait a minute. Processing error. Must need have a minimum of 24 pages. Okay, fine. We're going to add 24 pages. Oh, let's make some more pages. That is so funny. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 for good measure. All right, let's download this again and re-upload it. All right, so now we're gonna re-upload our fake book. We did get an error. Successful. All right, says it was successful. All right, see, there's a problem processing your cover. All right, let's try it again. This is our cover. Now, the one thing I do want to point out is I don't see the errors until it waits for, I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes. So let's just see. We're gonna give it a minute and see if everything is good with the world. I don't have any other issues. It looks like you made some changes to your manuscript. Please preview. So I'm going to preview my book. Browser is too small. Okay. I think it's because I minimized it down to 80% or something. We'll see. All right, so while this is doing, it may take several minutes. It's only a 24-page book. It shouldn't take several minutes. There we go. Come on. The next thing is going to be pricing. All right, so here's my book. Oh, I didn't do the other thing. Okay. Well, I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care about this. All right. So my book, you can see the gibberish. That is my book. This should look and feel similar to what we did with Lulu. I forgot that I do have to do both sides. So when I do a 6x9, I actually have to make it longer. So it should have been a 12x9 is what it should have been. And that would span both sides. That was my mistake. So that's totally my fault. That's okay. So I didn't read the cover sides, but I already know that I should have done both. So when I say it should have been a 12x9, this is a 6x9 images. And so I should have expanded this 6x9 and made it longer. I can do that real quick and then we can move on. So I need to resize this to 12x9 and just resize it. Okay, I'm gonna take all of this and move it over. I don't know, girly, I can't get to your image. She is in the back. Okay, fine. There she is. Moving you over. Oh, you won't move. Okay. Oh, you want it to be the full size. All right, well, she's gonna stay in the middle. I guess that's what's gonna happen. She's gonna stay in the middle. The words will be over here. This will be the front, this will be the back, and she will fold over the book. That will be it. You know what? Well, I do like the raindrop thing, so I'll just leave it. Okay. Okay, let me show you how you can fix this. I am going to fix it. Okay, so I can duplicate this image twice. Let me duplicate this. All this. Duplicate the image. Canva to the clipboard, allow. Oh, you're not gonna let me. Oh, you're not gonna let me move her. Nope, you're not. Okay, so I'd have to take this entire image, replicate it first. It's not gonna let me do what I want to do. It's all right. I don't have time to mess with that. So we're gonna move on. So let me replace this. I did download it though. I think I did. Did I download the cover again? No, I didn't. Let me download the cover again. Delete and download. In another class, I will show you how I fix that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do best cover and PDF and download. And then we're going to upload it to PDF. I mean, up to KDP. All right, so let's exit previewer. And I am going to change the cover again. Upload a new cover. New cover. And then I'm going to preview it. All right, so I uploaded a new cover. Do I have any messages up here? Successfully uploaded. Looks like I have changed it. Yes, too small. That's fine. Or you give me that message. Oh, it's 100%. Okay, well, that's not the issue. Okay. All right, hopefully it will take just one more second and then. So she's going to wrap around both sides. All right, come on. So she wraps around both sides, but that's okay. But you see this, the book actually should put you on this side, but that's all right. This is the back, this is the front. That's what you get for Russian. But but all I did was select all, move it over to the side. I should have moved it over to this side and then put her, put everything over here. But anyway, you get the idea. So this is the back, this is the front, and KDP is automatically putting stuff in there. Okay. So I'm going to exit the previewer. I'm going to leave that the way it is. And I am going to go ahead and click save and continue. It says next step is pricing. Fix the highlight. Approve. Oh, come on. I am not. Okay, so it wants me to change the size. It says the cover size is exactly 12 by 9, and it wants the cover size to be this size. All right. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go back over here. And I'm going to resize this thing one more time. Might as well fix it while we're at it. Okay, so I moved that at least. I'm not going to fix her. And then it wants me to resize it to size it again. .25. Resize. Okay. That should be the size now. Hopefully that's the size. Okay. Let's do it a third time. Third time's the charm. So this will be some of the fun that you get for having to do this like 90,000 times. Don't get frustrated. It's just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, which is what I kind of warned you about before. Okay, so let's upload this cover, exit, see if we can get past the red message and get to the next. Okay, now let's go look. Hopefully it is the exact same size that they want it in. And if it is, fantastic. My water bottle is empty. I need some more water. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Just want to get to the next page. So once you get past the re-uploaded, and any other errors that show up a couple of minutes later, then you'll get to the pricing. And then you'll get to the submit. You get to the, category and age group and submit. Come on. Almost. Almost. Perfect. Dun, dun, dun. We're gonna go ahead and click approve. Now that I've clicked approve, I can click next. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Okay. So cost of your book to print my book is going to be $2.15. The great thing about KDP is you can make it available on all the other Amazon related platforms. Okay, so I'm going to click save and continue. So we're going to remember that $2.15 with the black and white cover. Okay, so now I can make it available in all territories, or I can indicate specifically where I'm going to make it. So again, worldwide rights versus individual territory rights. And you need to be mindful of where you are going to sell this, because again, your ISBN has a whole regional piece to it. And so you don't want to get yourself in trouble for that. Okay. So then the next piece is figuring out my pricing. So if I'm going to sell it on Amazon.com, how much do I want to sell my book for? So maybe I want to say that my list price is $9.99. Remember, it's $2.15. So my royalty is going to be $3.84. If I do expanded distribution, then it would be at 40%, is what I would get in whatever that calculated number is based off of every sale. So every time it sells, I get $3.84. Okay. Then the next thing is, I know my account is incomplete. They wanted to make sure that I know that's going to take up to 72 hours for my item, for my book to be ready. And then it will actually be live. So request a proof, you can have a proof sent to you, and you have to make sure your account is complete. So you'll see I have, this is like a test account that my VAs use all the time. And so it's incomplete. It's missing the banking and tax information. So this is the process to actually upload a book. We uploaded a book. We had to do some formatting adjustments. I wrote a fake book on the fly, and then I did a cover. We did all of this outside of the talking. Like I could have had this done in under 15 or 20 minutes if I didn't make 5,000 mistakes, but it doesn't take that long. Once you have all the other information that I mentioned before, it doesn't take that long to be able to get to this place where you can publish it. Okay. So the thing that I want you, as you go through, if you're going to do KDP, or if you're going to do Lulu or some of the other providers, as I mentioned before, those are all great providers, and you can have a sample book sent to you. For Lulu, I just pay for my sample books to be sent to me. But as I said before, I only pay for the pages in which we've like a single version of the page. So if I'm doing a calendar, I will do the calendar left and right page. And then if I'm doing a weekly page, I will do the weekly left and right page, but I won't do every single week in the book. So I get a sample of each individual formatted page. If there's instructions, or if there is, like we're working on the 90-day checklist. So I will have the picture of the 90-day page and the suppliers page and things like that. So it is a trimmed down version of the book that is sent to me, and I have it sent to me in color because I want to know what the color is going to look like when my customers receive it. If it's some kind of putrid color, I'll go change it and ask for another order. And the same thing again with KDP, like you can ask for a sample of the book to be sent to you so that way you can look at it before it is actually live. Okay. All right. So I think those are the biggest things. We'll go look at Ingram Spark, and I will open it up for questions. Let me just open it up for questions. I don't know if this was helpful. Let me know if this was helpful or not. I'm just going to open it up for questions real quick. And if you have any questions about using KDP. So you're unmuted. I'm just going to go over to Ingram Spark and BookBaby so you can see Spark. BookBaby.
Excuse me.
Okay, so, and then we were originally on Lulu. So again, if you decide you're going to do Lulu Direct, again, hopefully you set up your account, which was the instruction in last week's session 7 is, go in and set up your own. And as I said before, they have some tips, great tips on their site. I just think like the selfpublisher.com has a whole bunch more. If you're going to sell your book direct, like in other words, you want to make it available on Lulu, or if you want to sell it everywhere on your site and also on Lulu, if you want to sell it everywhere, just printing, shop our store, that's their site. There we go, all places. Then under sell your book, it's a little different on each site. If you want global distribution, again, your royalty is going to be different on global distribution, but you're going to get your book in so many other places automatically, including Amazon. So you can do that through Lulu. Now, when you're selling it through Amazon, it's not it's like selling it on Amazon.com in the books. So you could still do, and I've seen people do this where they're selling it through Lulu retail distribution, and then they're also selling it on KDP where it's on the back end of Amazon KDP. So you have an Amazon listing, and then you have an Amazon KDP listing. And I've seen people do that. I would recommend that if you're going to do that, like if you're going to do like maybe low content books, or you're going to do something that's like a coloring book, like if you want to split test to see which one gets you more traction and more sales, that I would make sure you have different covers and things like that. It's a different ISBN, everything about it is different. So you can decide whether or not you feel like you get more traction and traffic with the retail distribution side of either Lulu, Ingram Spark, Book Baby, any of those, because they're all using the same ones. They're all using pretty much the same ones. Or whether or not KDP is your sole driver and you're going to use KDP for all of it, and you're just not going to mess with the others. So see which one works out better for you. So what questions can I answer for you? And then, as you know, with Ingram Spark, the only thing about Ingram Spark is I think this one is the one where you order books in bulk. Yeah, okay, fine. Or is it Book Baby? Like it's $49 or something. Yeah. So to print an ebook, to print only, publish now, ebook only. And then you can calculate your cost. It's going to be similar to the steps that you went through with Lulu. Very similar. Oh my gosh, why do the cookies keep coming up? Okay. So what questions can I answer for you? Was this helpful? Was it not helpful? Did you get some good information? Is everybody still awake? Is everybody going to sleep? Just put it out in the universe. Sometimes there are questions.
Well, what's the platform you actually use the most?
I use Lulu the most right now. I'm just being honest. We use KDP as well. I think my timing for KDP, because timing is everything, putting your stuff up in enough time to get the traction is the key. So for planners, like this year, we're going to be putting our planners up, our 2024 planners up, and we're going to put them up in August. And in the past, I didn't have enough runway room, is what I refer to it as, to get the traction that I needed to see the results. So this year we'll have a better chance. And we're also doing global distribution this year. So I use Lulu more right now because I can print when I need. When I order from Lulu, I will order it in bulk. So I'll do like an order of 20 or 50 at a time. And when you order larger quantities, like they give you a coupon code almost, I feel like every other week. And so we'll use a coupon code to do the 15% off, and then they'll tack on an additional like 10% off of that or more when you're buying in bulk. So it ends up being around 25 or 30% off. I think KDP has more exposure opportunities. Your timing has to be right for KDP. And external promotion of your book is also helpful if you're going to do KDP. And so I didn't have the runway room. We had too many things going on. So yeah, that's my truth. But I should have some amazing numbers at the end of this year because we're starting in August. So I anticipate it's going to be bananas because we have the 90-day Amazon planner, 90-day eBay planner, 90-day Etsy, 90-day Walmart, and 90-day Shopify planners all coming out. Like they're coming out 6 weeks apart. So we're gonna gain momentum from that. So I'm gonna see what KDP does. Does that help?
Yeah, that does help.
So if you're talking about what you're going to be doing, there's definitely a great window for yours. And I think putting your stuff up, if we're talking about the same thing we talked about in the print on demand summer, I would say make sure your stuff is listed, right before school is out is always good. Right before school starts is always good. And then also before Christmas. So I think getting it done now and having it ready for when school's about to start, because that's when parents are going to need it, especially with the stuff that's happened in the world over the last, especially here in the last couple of weeks and here in the last week in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I think your product would definitely get some traction. I think there's a couple other things that you can do from a strategic standpoint to gain traction. But you want global distribution, and you also want your book published within the book group that is most likely going to buy it. So I'm just going to say, like, I would reach out to Mardell. I would not reach out to Mardell. I would make sure that whoever I'm doing global distribution with is making my book available at Mardell. I would make sure that it was available at a couple of different places. So with the time being what it is, it's May. I would spend the rest of May getting my copyright, my trademark, my LLC established and getting that stuff done. Start writing your content, get your content finalized before like mid-June, get it done, get some covers ordered mid-June, and then make that bad boy live before the end of June.
Okay.
Back to school is going to be starting, in different places. Like in Kansas, back to school is the last week in May. In Texas, it's the first and second week in August. So back to school is different around the US. You want to make sure your product is on the platforms and starts to optimize before then. I would also maybe just now organically start creating like a Facebook group for parents or, parents of high schoolers or parents of middle schoolers or parents of, I don't know. I don't want to say troubled teens, but, just, the parenting journey of teenagers or something that's catchy. You can do a couple of Google searches just to figure out what might be catchy and create a Facebook group and let people organically start joining the group, which is what I did to a couple of my Facebook groups. And they just show up on their own. They just join on their own. And then that makes it easier to put your book out there without pushing it. You literally can make the banner of your Facebook page the image of the book, kind of over to the side. You still have the title of the Facebook group, and then this book, here's your guide to helping your kid be successful in this coming school year. So again, if we're talking about the same topic, you can schedule a 20-minute, you can schedule a 30-minute, and we can sit down for an hour because I literally have a lot of ideas. I already told you that before about how you can get yours out much quicker than mine. Mine is a very, 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 very niche specific audience. There are more people in the world that have kids than do e-commerce. So mine is more niche than yours. Yours has a global reach because people are having babies everywhere. And those babies are going to grow up to be middle schoolers and teenagers, and they need a little guidance. So you have a much broader audience than I do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
So yeah, so mine is a little more niche and nuanced, and yours is not. Well, yours is still niched and nuanced, but everybody's got kids. Everybody knows a kid. Grandparents, aunties, uncles. I mean, everybody knows a kid. People who don't have kids know kids. So,
Definitely.
so send me a schedule a session. Let's get yours done. Yours should be done. I'm just gonna tell you right now, yours should be done. Yours is a no-brainer. So is Cassandra's. You guys are no-brainers. So let me know how I can help you. I can tell you about all the fun stuff I went through. And the irony is, I literally got a phone call today while I was taking my son to the doctor today from the Amazon Accelerator Program for Black-owned businesses. They called me on my drive and they were like, okay, well, we want to talk to you about your book. And I was like, okay. So about my books. And but I didn't get to talk to him because I told him, I said, you know, I'm like getting ready to hit my exit on the highway. So can we schedule this? And he's like, yeah, we just make sure you schedule a session because we really have some ideas to kind of help you. So Amazon will also do some things to potentially help you since you're a minority author. Just putting it out there. I'll let you know what happens because I'm going to talk to him tomorrow.
Oh, that should be a fun conversation.
I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be helpful and it'll be interesting. So we'll see. But yeah, let's make it happen. Schedule your 20-minute session. Let's knock this out.
All right.
All right. Okay, so for everybody else, I have no idea what your book idea was from last session 7, but please, 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 let's take action every single day to move this forward. I would love to see your books. I would love to see what you publish. I can show you what we have that's coming up that we're publishing. It is coming up soon. As I mentioned before, I just got so many things going on. We use Google for everything. So we have a bunch of products that are in the pipeline, and all of those products are going to come to the marketplace. If the Lord says the same, as long as I'm still breathing, it's coming to the marketplace. You can just guarantee that. So we have the Amazon 90-day planner. It's a workbook. So it's an actual book that they can write in and they can indicate what they did every single day. It gives them step-by-step instructions on how to get started on Amazon, how to create your account. What are all these things I need to know? What are the Amazon categories, the approved categories? How do I get ungated? Like, it's a how-to book, step-by-step. All you need to do is read and do, read and do, read and do, read and do. And so we are launching that for Amazon. And then we have the next one is the eBay. And this week they're working on the Etsy. So the eBay one, and this is what the eBay looks like. Again, step-by-step, check mark. Now, this cover is not amazing and it doesn't follow the guidelines that I told you that we looked at before. This would be considered one of those low content books, but we do have a couple of alternative covers that we are playing with to see what we can do to make it work. And we may or may not, because I feel like part of the book is like self-explanatory. We also put our domain on it because of the fact that we're selling it directly on our website, or we're going to be selling it directly on our website. So again, we own 90dayecomplanners.com, and we're going to have a whole bunch of planners that are on that website, and people will be able to buy them and get started on their e-commerce journey, so that it's not just focus on Amazon sellers, eBay sellers, Etsy sellers, Shopify. Like, we're going to focus on, we don't care. We'll eventually get to Whatnot. We'll eventually get to Comments Sold. We'll eventually get to all of the other e-commerce related platforms where people sell. And we will have step-by-step instructions on what you need to know about the platform and how to get started, including Google Shopping. So I'm excited about that. I think when we're done, we'll probably have at least, 20 books out in the universe in addition to the regular eCom planner. But mine is very niched and very nuanced. So when you are selling to people who have kids, much broader audience. And we will have a kids version so that it gives kids step-by-step instructions on what to do when they go out to the stores and if they're like doing some retail arbitrage. So we're going to have that as well, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm excited. Any questions? Okay, well, I think everybody else is asleep. Maybe not. I just gave you a lot of stuff to think about. The biggest piece of this is I don't want you to sit on this information. I don't want you to take a course and you don't take any action. I want you to actually take some action. I want you to actually put a product out in the universe. I really want you to publish your book. And if you need some help, I keep saying this, I can't say it enough. If you really, 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 really need some help, schedule a session with me. I am happy to sit down with you and look at what you're putting together. I am happy to give you some suggestions on how you can improve it. I am happy to tell you about all the fun stuff that I went through that you don't want, that I don't want you to go through. So I'm happy to share my insight so that your journey is a little less stressful than mine was. So I'm going to give you the 20-minute coaching session link. I'm going to put it in the chat. Just schedule your session and, let's make this happen for you. Let's let this be the year that we all put something out into the universe that will help us to turn some money. I just imagine whatever you put out there. I know we looked at the numbers. It was like, $3.84. That wasn't a lot of money, but let's say it's something that sells $5 every single week. And you have, different versions, whether you have coloring books or whatever. So $3.84, 5 times a week. I'm just going to round it up to $4 just because. So I'm just going to round it up to $4. $4, 5 times let's say it sells 5 times a day. So that's $20 every single day. $20 a day times 30 days in a month, that's $600. Okay, that's just for one book. So what if you put out, 5 additional books, or you put up 10 books, and they sort of had a similar selling pattern, whether it was 1 a day, 5 a day, or 10 a day? You are easily into the $5,000 to $6,000 range every single month, just because you're being consistent, just because you are publishing something that people are going to buy, or people that are interested in your niche are going to buy. People are still buying physical books. They are. They're still buying physical books, and they're also buying online books. Put something out there that, that you have always wanted to do. Don't sit on this. Don't wait. There's a lot of money to be made. And once you get your first one, then you'll be able to do your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth, your sixth. And before you know it, you may have, 50 up and running and just have residual income coming in, where you can go and sit on the beach and drink Mai Tais. Or as my friend Stephen Hibbert does, he goes fishing almost every other day and does whatever he wants to do. Whatever he wants to do. Like, he does not have to do anything. He sits around he makes me sick. I'm like, I am in my 50s. His brother was in his 20s traveling the US because they had so much print on demand out there. He's in his 30s. Like, okay, yes, I'm envious. You're supposed to be envious. I'm envious because I wish I had redirected and focused my energy. I wish I had taken the actions that I needed, because if you publish 1 new book a month, at the end of a year, that's 12 books. Even if 20% of those books sell, that's money you didn't have before, and you never have to do anything with them again. The Cindy, what is her name? Oh God, I know her name. She spoke at my summit. Cindy, she wrote the book Profit First for E-commerce sellers. I think that's what it's called. Cindy Thomason, I think that's what it is. Yeah, Cindy Thomason wrote the book Profit First for E-commerce sellers. It's on Amazon KDP. She wrote that book, I think it was like in 2017 or something like that, or 2016. Can't remember the exact time. She still gets sales on that book to this day. She has not rewritten it. She has not updated it. She wrote a new book. She hadn't done anything. So just putting it out into the universe. Let's talk about what you got going on, and let's figure out how we can take whatever ideas you have or whatever books you've published, and let's see how we can get it in front of the right audience and wake up that audience. But yeah, she still makes money to this day. She hadn't done anything. I love it. All right. Well, I will wait to hear back from all of you. I sent you a thing to schedule time. You all have a blessed evening. We're going to say goodbye for now.
Bye.
Bye.